Here we go. This is a fly that I tied for my wife and Dick Cheney to use in the one fly. They said 20 years of one, or it wasn't quite 20 years. I'd never done a fly for the one fly. So they beat me up and said, you have to do it. I didn't care about Cheney, but I didn't care about my wife. Don't sleep with him, but I sleep with her. So I had to do a fly that shouldn't embarrass herself. It ended up being the fly of the year. It won. And there was some brown and tan big pieces of foam. They're right over there. Right straight in front of you there. Okay. Now, I want you to look at this. Feel this. This is the right feel. All foam is not created equal. If you do buy it, no offense to Superfly, but if you do a lot of it, you probably want to buy it in big strips. If you do a lot. If just a little bit, then buy it in the smaller packages. The foam that Superfly has is the 200 millimeter is what I use. I don't know who distributes it here in Canada, but I've seen it, and that is these little foam cutters, and they're really good if you tie a lot of them. If you're tying them for, to make them look really nice, you can take a match and blow it out and just go around it and mold the thing with a nice touch, especially if you're doing what I'm doing right now. And I know that I'm going to really move on it, but it's been one of the most successful flies that I've ever come up with. First thing you do, put it up against that. Obviously, I've tied a few. I know how to do it without even looking. That's the width that you want. This one you put a thread base. Most people say foams twist. That's one way to keep it from twisting, lay a foam base. We're going to make this a little longer, so we're going to tie that in. Now, dealing with foam, what we're going to do is take big wraps. See, can everybody see that? Yep. Wraps like that. Then we're going to do it kind of an Xing pattern, going back and forth. And I'm going to do loose wraps. Now I'm going to come back tighter wraps, loose wraps, tighter wraps. Each time now I'm coming tighter. Now I'm doing it pretty tight. That's kind of the Chinese finger pull out. Very slowly coming down, or as my friend Archie says, it's fly torque. Which anybody understands what torque is. And I'm going to cut it like this. We'll eventually trim it out. Now, if I took that match, I could make it really nice. Okay, at this point, we're going to come up and we're going to take and add any small, and I mean try to get the smallest one that you can so you don't have to trim it. This is a very important part of this. It's like the stimulator. We want it to rip. Now, we're going to be using a chenille. This is not Superfly. Superfly makes it. It's great. This particular color, the only reason I have this stuff is I really like the color of it. But you can get it here in Canada. What's the name that Superfly calls it?
Crystal chenille.
Crystal chenille. And it's actually a little better than this, but this is the color. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to visualize. This is one of the few times that I use a third. A third, a third. I'm going to put it right there is where I want that to end. So very directly on any dry fly is guesstimate and end right there, okay? We're going to wrap it. It doesn't hurt. We've actually had 200 fish caught on this fly.
Wow.
And we'll lay a base. It's a very durable fly, very popular one in the one fly, very popular in our country. It matches the, then we come back with this. It's a little longer than I like. I like it really short. You don't want to trim it. You lose the ability for the hackle to float, because when you cut it, you make it into a straw. Again, we're moving very quickly on this. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is go out through it to the back. That helps reinforce it. I don't think there's any need to wire or anything like that add to the weight of the fly. The dark stuff I just cut right here. Again, let's check it against that, and it looks fine. We're going to trim this so it has kind of a forked tail. We're going to tie it in like this. By the way, there's 16 legit.
Needs foam.
Yeah, I've had that foam for a long time. That's a bad thing. Foam does not have a
Yeah,
good,
doesn't.
does not have a very good shelf life. Yeah, I'll use this piece. Isn't the best. Aren't you glad when I do something? Does that make your heart feel good?
Well, yeah, it makes us feel like we actually can tie like the good guys.
You tie more flies than I do, believe me.
I hope.
Okay, we're going to tie that in, and now we're going to add legs. God, please. Now, I've kind of changed. You know, I do use these round legs, but ever since I started using, I'll go ahead and use these dark ones just for the sake of time, round legs, but I like, what do they call it, thread? Come on, you Superfly people. Floss. Yeah, I think of teeth, right? The floss, okay, put it right there, and the floss works really good. All my crane fly patterns have the floss. I would never use the round legs. I still use the round legs on this pattern with umpqua. It's just the way the pattern was, and I actually have tried the other legs, and I don't think it makes a hell of a difference. I'm going to trim some of this at the end. I like long legs on these flies. Remember yesterday when you saw the fly? See how prominent the legs are? Woo.
I like long legs too.
Everybody likes long legs.
Me too.
All right, big mistake right here, and I did it. See, I wrapped over the bend of the hook. You gotta be very careful, because then you make it fishless, barbless, worthless. You can't do that. Well, see, the threads, if you cut the thread, the fly comes apart. There is no way of saving it. Okay, we're going to pull it up here. We got a third of the hook left. I pushed the foam forward. We're going to wrap it through here because we're going to pull that back over it for a wing case. Okay, at this point in time, we're going to need to have, oh, please don't let me have to look for it. We're going to need the infamous crystal flash. What's over there? Is there a green tube?
It's on the floor by your feet, yeah.
No, it isn't.
Right here?
That's it. Most important thing to me that Superfly makes, best in the world. Nobody else makes it as nice as this. I know they don't make it, but they import it, but by God, it's the best. Right on top. This glows, it diffuses light. Anything moving, like a helicopter blade, diffuses light. It's my daughter's Amy's idea. She did a study where they were running blood through Gore-Tex veins, and the way they could tell the velocity is how the reflections off of the moving fluids. So it became very scientific. She picked it off my bench, says, "Dad, this will do it." She held it up to light and said, "Yep, it'll show movement." And I got it on lots of flies. It's been one of the more successful synthetics that I brought into the world. I didn't bring it into the world. I just realized somebody else brought it into the world, and it was good for fly tying. Like Gary thought Antron would be good for fly tying. One of the things is that I learned a lot of this from the underwater. And I try, like the library's going to have those 3 discs, and you'll get a chance to see when you go through the disc how this makes it glow. Most important, see all that stuff right there, really bad? You try to clean it up. I'm in a hurry, so I'm not doing a very good job. Normally, I would have cut that so those things weren't sticking out. But the good news is, see, there's nothing. See that? You don't see anything coming out? So it's ready to go. We're gonna measure right here and trim it because we want, one of the most important things that I can teach you right now is to do that. 2 or 3 wraps. Cement, Phil, you have the cement? Actually, this time I need the cement.
I'll put it on.
That's fine.
Where are you gonna put it?
Not there. Not without dinner and a movie. Right there? That where you want it?
Yeah, right there.
There you go.
Okay, you do this in all your elk hair caddis, and what you're doing is that when you tie it, it goes into the butt ends. That will never come out. Was that worth coming to know? Put that on all your thing, and you will never have a problem. Okay, back to the same, what I use is the green, I will use that same thing here, but diamond, the peacock, the one that we used yesterday, and the diamond blend. The nice thing about this is not regular dubbing. Whoops, get back up there. Alright, isn't this thing over with yet? Pull that back. Boy, try doing this when the fish are rising and you're in the car and you want to go fishing and you don't have enough of these. And then that's really living.
That's the true test.
We're at Lemoyne Heights on the Wind River and Mike Lawson, and what are you doing? Well, I'm tying up crane flies. What the heck for? It's the middle of October. I said, because it might happen. He says, why do you want to go to this much trouble? I don't have any. And I think it's stupid, Mike said. Well, I tied up 4. By the end of the day, Mike wanted one. Cost him a big steak dinner. I'm going to be very, very happy that I did that. Okay, go to the side. Notice in the rotary vise how well that works for that kind of a thing. At the very end now, all we need to do is grab any kind of foam, yellow, pink, whatever you want to put on it, orange. Orange is usually what I normally use. We use yellow here. It's just, believe it or not, this ride's so low in the water that you have trouble seeing it. It looks like the Queen Mary, but you have trouble seeing it. Just like Italian boat captains have trouble seeing islands.
So that's why land lies on its side, Jack?
Yeah, well, I got a couple of Italian friends I can send this to and say, well, you know, that will be the, instead of Chernobyl, whatever the name of that
Carnival
boat. It's supposed to be a cripple. Okay, that's it. Amy's aunt, look at it from right there. It's a winner. I do say so myself. You know, it's what it is. Now, see where the hook is?
Yep.
So the fish grabs it, boom.